Welcome to Think Tank, powered by Vodacom. It's a rugby show that's short and zippy, a lot like Faf de Klerk, and tighter than Willie Britz's perm. I'm Zelim now with Tank Lanning. Tank, after 11 rounds of Super Rugby, the Lions are the form team I never thought I'd live to see the day.
It is amazing. And what a game it was. It was just really entertaining. I thought the week before was droog and horrible to watch. Yeah. But this weekend was totally different, and especially in that game. It was scintillating to watch, There were some great tries. I see people on Twitter were moaning about the kind of, it was defense-free game. But, you take a quick look at the stats, and especially the Lions made 123 tackles, only missed 12. I think Peterson got go through 4 or 5 of them in one move. So, in the rest of the game, they missed 6 tackles. So, I've just struggled to back them this season, even though every weekend they kind of prove me wrong. But there's a nagging feeling that while they deserve the praise they're getting and they are playing really, really good rugby, I just have a feeling that perhaps that they won't quite have the ammunition to really go all the way.
So, Tank, you mentioned the Lions there and their defence and their form. Obviously, they've been rewarded for some of that with Springbok call-ups for 5 players.
Yeah, it's good. It's awesome to see Faf de Klerk in there. I think he's been really, really good this season. Mapu had a fantastic game on the weekend. He gets rewarded. Quite strange that Redlinghuyse gets binned. Julian Redlinghuyse obviously hasn't had the season that he had last year. Dre has been starting sort of more times than he has for the Lions. But a lot of what the Lions do is based on their scrum, and it's a very, very powerful scrum. It's been different to last year, in that last year they smoked everyone.
Right.
Now refs are asking them to scrum a little bit higher, so the shorter props like Redlinghuyse are getting asked to do stuff that they can't do because his defensive position is low.
Okay.
But then it takes away the power when they're asked to scrum a little bit higher. So he's still adjusting to that. But yeah, absolutely. It's awesome to see those guys in the box squad. That said, it is the widest net in the history of nets. Basically, if you haven't made the box squad, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Were there any surprises in that squad? Guys that were left out that you thought, sure, I'm surprised these guys are not in?
Well, not so much. It was more the other way around. And there were some awesome selections. Apart from the Lions, Ruan Botha getting a nod. Awesome to see Heinrich Brousseau, not completely discarded.
Right.
And then I think probably the big ones are this year's form props have been the Province guys,
right.
The Stormers guys.
Right.
And all three, Malherbe, Koch and Kitsoff get a look in. It's a real pity that Kitsoff is now, he's just coming into his own and now he's going to bugger off to France. It's really sad because I think he's really, really playing very well, and Koch has been the form tighthead, and it's great to see the Mayor sort of having a look at a wider squad.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of Springboks, that leads us to our question of the week, which comes from Yoga Kitchen on Twitter. The question was, who is the most overrated Springbok rugby player and who is the most underrated? Good luck.
Yeah, talk about putting an oak on the spot. So I suppose it's always going to be controversial. For me, the overrated players are the ones that have been around a little bit too long, become a little bit over-reliant on them. They get big heads. So a guy like Frans Steyn comes to mind. I know I'm in the minority, but I just think, he comes with a little bit more trouble than it's worth.
Right.
I'm also not sure that the modern-day Victor Matfield is as good as people are saying. So those two names would come to mind. In terms of underrated, Brousseau definitely, but it's awesome to see him, having a look in now.
Yep.
And then a guy like Pollard, I think he is the future of Springbok rugby. I think he's supremely talented. He's a great leader. He's got a good head on a young set of shoulders. And I just don't think Mayer has quite made up his mind there. And I still think he's being iffy on who's going to play at fly-half.
Right.
But for me, it would be Pollard straight away.
Well, he was one drop goal away from giving the Bulls a win against the Stormers at Newlands at the weekend. That was a match that really saw a big scrum battle. I know that some of the Stormers guys were a little bit upset about the scrum penalties against them. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was interesting. Basically, the Stormers lived off scrum penalties, and we've spoken about it on the show before. One of my worst things in rugby is the full-on penalty.
Right.
for scrum penalties. Being penalised for being poor it can't be right. It's like penalising a flower for dropping the ball. But on that, so Kitsoff, fantastic game. He goes off, on came Kebble. I've been a Kebble fan since he was a light. He played for the baby box. He's enormously powerful.
He's enormous, period.
Yeah, in fact. And I had the privilege of playing with his old man, and it wasn't such a privilege coming against that. He's a beast, just a wall. And I think Ollie's got a little bit of that in him. But just on the loose head versus tight head. So, a loose head has got two options. Either he's going to scrum in, and that's his job, to try and break a tight head's ribs.
Right.
Or he opts out, and then he looks like a knob. So his job is to go in on the tight head. The tight head's job is to keep the scrum straight by keeping him out. So, inevitably, he's going to be scrumming in a little bit. This whole saga with, he's scrumming in.
Yeah.
That is his job. If he wasn't doing that, he'd be opting out and then he wouldn't be putting pressure on the tight head.
Right.
So, I think there's always going to be an element of scrumming in from any good loose head.
I can see you getting worked up about scrums, Tank. I'm going to have to call a time on you right there, unfortunately. Guys, we're enjoying the questions on Think Tank. If you could please make sure that you send some more through for us so the big fella can let you have some answers. Be sure to use the hashtag ThinkTank. That's it for this week, guys. We'll see you next time. Ciao.